Hello everyone, welcome back to Miss Fashion YouTube channel. My name is Miro. If you are new here, you're welcome. Kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. In today's tutorial, we're going to be going about the cutting and sewing of this blouse. Okay, so and if it's something you're interested in learning, please do keep on watching and let's get started. So before we get started, a client saw this particular one that I made for myself, and she requested that I make same for her then to be shipped to the US. So this was the outcome of the one I made for my client, and it's so beautiful. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how I came about the outcome of this particular outfit. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. So the first thing I'll be doing here now is to get my client's shoulder measurement, which is 8. So I marked it like so. So I proceeded to get the armhole depth. Okay, so when I was done with that, I went ahead to connect with my ruler. Okay, so from the shoulder to the armhole depth. Okay, so just draw a straight line like so. Okay, so you'll be able to get the armhole curve. So that's what I just basically did here. So I proceeded to take the shoulder slope and the neckline. For the neckline, I used 3 inch by 3 inch. Okay, so after doing that, then I'll just use my curve ruler to connect both points together like so. So I went ahead to also connect my shoulder slope to make the neckline area. So I went ahead to take my client's bust point measurement, under bust measurement, the half length, okay, and also the full length of the blouse. Okay, so basically just do the same thing for you. So to get the full length of my client for the blouse, I usually come down from the waistline by 5 inch. Okay, for a blouse. Okay, so I usually come down, even if I'm doing an inbuilt corset like a gown, I usually come down by 5 inch, 4 to 5 inch. Okay, so for this particular blouse, I came down by 5 inch from the waistline, 5 inch from the waistline. So I went ahead to draw horizontal lines across like so. Okay, so you go ahead and do the same thing. Meanwhile, also make sure you add sewing allowance, okay, to the full length of the blouse. Okay, so this is what I have right now, as you can see. So I have to turn it to this other side so that it will be more visible. Okay, so I have from the shoulder to the bust point to the under bust and to the full length of the blouse. Okay, so the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to just label them like so. Okay, so when I was done with that, I'll go ahead now to take the nipple to nipple measurement of my client. Okay, so I'll just take the nipple to nipple measurement. So the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inch. So you're going to divide whatever you have for your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So for this case, I used 4 inch because this paper is on fold. So when I was done with the nipple to nipple measurement, I had to connect it with a vertical line, as you can see. So the next thing I went ahead to do is to divide the shoulder measurement. I went ahead to divide the shoulder measurement by 2. Okay, so I connected whatever I have as a center point to meet the bust point area. Okay, so divide your nipple to your shoulder measurement by 2 and connect it to meet the bust point. So I went ahead to tighten the under bust. So I used 3 inch for the tightening of this under bust. So I shared that 3 inch on both sides. Okay, so I used 2 inch for the left hand side, then I used 1 inch for the center part. Okay, so I went ahead now to connect the 2 inch to meet the bust point area. So when you're connecting to meet the bust point area, you make sure you come down by half of an inch so that to avoid sharp points, okay, on the bust area. So the 1 inch that I used this, I used 1 inch for the center part. So I'll go ahead now to connect that 1 inch to meet the bust point area as well. as you can see. So when I was done with that, I went ahead to draw a straight line like so, as you can see, to meet the hem of the pattern. Okay, so that was what I basically did there. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to get the side bust tightening. Okay, so whatever you have from your bust point to your under bust, just divide it by 2, connect it like so to meet the bust point, as you can see. So this will help to eliminate folds at the sides of the bust. Okay, so that was what I basically did there. So just watch. So I went ahead to extend the armhole line like so to meet the center point. So I later, when I went up by 3 inch from that armhole line, I went up by 3 inch, and from that 3 inch I tightened the over bust by 1 inch on both sides. I hope you can see. I went up by 3 inch from the armhole line. Okay, so after that I tightened the over bust by 1 inch on both sides, you can see. So go ahead and use your straight ruler to connect it to meet the bust point, and also you extend it like so to meet the shoulder line. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. From the shoulder line that I extended earlier, I went up by 3 inch. From that 3 inch, I took 1 inch on both sides for the bust over bust tightening. So go ahead to connect it to meet your bust point like so, and also make sure you blend the bust point area. Make sure you blend the bust point area. I'm just trying to be a little bit fast because this video is the tutorial is very long. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to be fast. So go ahead to blend it like so that you don't have sharp points. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to slash the side bust area. So the reason why I slash the side bust area is because if I don't slash it, I won't be able to get the actual styling that I need for the over bust. Okay, it's like you slash the side bust or you slash from the hemline. For this case, I decided to slash the side bust. Okay, just do what works for you. Okay, so the next thing I'll go ahead to do now, from the chest line, I came down by 0.75. So this is not constant. This is depending on how open you want your cleavage to be. Okay, so from that point I also went up by 3 inch. Okay, I went up by 3 inch from that point. So I'll go ahead now to use my curve ruler to connect from that 3 inch to meet the armhole. Okay, so this will enable me to get my armhole. Okay, so when I was done with that, I'll go ahead now to also connect from that point to meet the center. Okay, that's the 0.75 inch. Okay, so this is what I have at the moment. So go ahead to open the pattern like so. Okay, so and just make sure everything is laying flat like so. Okay, so the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is just to make this everything more visible. Okay, so I went ahead to use my marker to make it more visible. Okay, so because I was using pencil before. Okay, so this is the styling for the over bust. Okay, this is the over bust styling, as you can see. So the reason why I folded this pattern like so is to make sure that the point at the upper part are meeting each other properly. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to go up from the armhole line like so. You can do half of an inch, you can do 1.5 inch, you can do 0.75. For this case, I went up by 0.75 inch from the armhole line. Okay, so this will help to prevent your armhole, the underarm, to be showing. Okay, to make it not to be more visible. Okay, so this is depending on your preference on what you want. Okay, so the reason why I went up by 0.75 inch was to make sure that my client's underarm is not too revealing. Okay, so that was the reason why I did so. So I'll go ahead now to also use my marker to make that part more visible. So that's the new armhole. Okay, so the upper line is the new armhole. That's what I'll be cutting out. Okay, so I'm no longer using that one that I marked, rather the upper one. That upper one now is the new armhole I'm using for this pattern. Okay, now proceed to take your round body measurement. The round body measurement of your client divided by 4. Remember to replace the darts, all the darts that you took. Make sure you replace all your darts. Okay, so the round body measurement divided by 4, then you replace your dart and the sewing allowance. Okay, so that's the waistline. So I'll move ahead now to the hip line. For the hip line, divide by 4, then I replace the dart intake, as you can see, which is 2 inch. I replace the dart intake plus sewing allowance. I also added 2.5 inch for the illusion, okay, of the blouse. Okay, I want it to have like more like an extra hip. Okay, so that's what I did there. So go ahead now to connect all the points together like so. So for clarity's sake, I'll go over the hip area again. For the hip area, I added about 2.5 inch, okay, to each side, okay, making it total of 10 inch, okay, 5 inch for the front, 5 inch for the back. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So work with your preference. If you don't want an illusion, just go ahead, divide your hip measurement by 4 plus sewing allowance, then replace your dart intake. Okay, but if you want an illusion, you can go ahead and add 1 inch, 2 inch, depending on how exaggerated, like how big you want the illusion to be. Next, I went ahead to use the marker to make all the lines more visible so that it will be clearer for you to see. So now it's time to style the hemline of the blouse. Okay, so there's no particular order to this, so just go ahead with whatever style or design you're working with. Okay, so I won't be saying do this or do that. Go with what your client wants or what you want for yourself. Okay, so that's what I'm basically just doing there. I'm just basically doing the styling for the waistline. Okay, so if at this point you haven't subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. Please turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so the next thing I will be doing here now is to snitch the waist, okay, my client's waist. Okay, so I want to snitch our waist, okay, by 4 inch. So 2 inch for the front, 2 inch for the back. I'll be taking 2 inch from the front waistline and the back waistline, making it 4 inch. So now I'll go ahead to just draw a slant line, okay, from the armhole area. So there's no particular order, just go with what you want. You can as well still take out this 4 inch from her actual waistline without doing this division, okay, without having to divide this other side. Go ahead to take ½ inch on both sides of the waistline, ½ inch on both sides of the waistline. So I went and I took ½ inch on both sides. I connected it to meet the bust area. Remember, we are only snitching the waist and not the bust. We are not snitching the bust, just the waist, and we are not snitching the hip. Okay, you can see what I'm doing there. Just follow what I'm doing there and you get the same result. Now connect that ½ inch that you took from the waistline, connect it slightly to meet the bust, and also connect it slightly to meet the hip line, as you can see. So just follow what I'm doing, you will get the same result. I'm just using my marker now to make all the lines there more visible. So I'll be taking that part I'm shading out, I'll be taking it off. I'll take out that because that's the part I used to snitch the waist. Okay, so I'll take that out. So the next, now proceed to cut this pattern. So I'll move over to the back. Okay, so as you can see, I'm cutting from the hemline first. I'm cutting the excess out from the hemline, the excess I don't need. So when I was done with that, I'll proceed to cut through the dart line. Okay, that's nipple to nipple dart line, as you can see. Okay, so I'll go ahead now to close the side bust. Okay, I'll go ahead now to close the side bust using my tape, okay, to hold it down. So go ahead to do the same thing. So when I was done with that, now I'll just cut the dart out. As you can see, I'll go ahead now to cut the dart out. So just follow your own preference of cutting. Okay, so I'm just giving guide for those that don't know how they will go about the cutting. Okay, so cut all the excesses that you not be needing out. Just cut everything that you know will not be needing out. Just watch the way I'm doing it. So because of the side bust tightening, you will notice that after closing your bust, there's a shortage around that bust area. So just try and add about 1/4 inch, okay, to it, or ½ inch. Just check your pattern very well so that you don't have shortage there. Go ahead now to cut through that new armhole line. Now go ahead to take off the darts for the center part. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. Take the dart up to the shoulder area. Just take off the dart. So you should be having these two now. Then go ahead now to cut the upper part. We will not be needing that. Take that off. So you should have this when you are done. Also go ahead to take off that the waist niching dart. Okay, so I didn't know my camera was not recording that part, but you will see it when I'm cutting on the fabric. Okay, so let's move over to cut the back pattern. Okay, so this is the back pattern, as you can see. So the first thing we'll be doing now is to take all our body measurement, the round body measurement. Okay, so I went ahead to take my client bust measurement plus sewing allowance. Okay, so for this back, I just want it to be straightforward. I don't want to impute any dart. Okay, so the dart for this waist niching, I'll be taking it directly from the waistline for this back. Okay, I hope you understand. I'll be taking the waist niching effect that I did for the front, the 2-inch. I'll be taking it from the sides for the back. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. So after doing that, go ahead to draw, connect all the points together. Okay, after taking all your round body measurement, go ahead, connect all the points together like so. So for the hip area, you are going to make sure you also add the 2.5 inch. Okay, for the illusion, make sure you don't forget that. So when you are done with that now, for this corset I'm using eyelets, not zipper. Okay, before I'll go over to that eyelet area, I'm going to extend the armhole line like so. From that armhole line, I'm going to go ahead to take 3-inch upward. 2-inch upward. Okay, so you can do 3-inch depending on how high you want the back to be. If I leave it at that armhole line, it will be too low. I hope you understand. It will be too low. So for this particular one, I'm going to go up by 2-inch. I went up by 2-inch for the back. So after that, I'll go ahead now to connect like so. Remember, for the front, I extended the armhole line upward so that my client's underarm will not be showing. Okay, so the same thing I did here, I also extended the armhole line. Okay, so after the extension, I had to connect it to meet that 2-inch. I went up from the chest line. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, now let's go over to the eyelet. So for the upper chest line, the extension, I went up to take, I took 2-inch, okay, inward. For the chest line, I did the same thing. For the bust line, I did the same thing. So for the waistline, I took 1.5 inch. For the hip line, I took 1 inch. So go ahead to connect the lines together like so. I hope you understand, because I want it to have a slanty effect. For the upper chest line, I took 2-inch. So the extension I did, the 2-inch extension, I took 2 inch also. For the waistline, I took 1.5 inch. And the hip line, I took 1 inch. Okay, so go ahead to do the same thing for yours. Then you connect it to have a slant line like this. But if you want yours to be a straight line, you can go ahead and do the same thing. So for that waist niching effect, okay, you can see what I'm trying to explain at that part. I don't want a line there. I don't want a line there. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking it directly on the waist. So I don't want that line there. Okay, I don't want to slash the back. I don't want it to be on I don't want it to have it as a pieces. Okay, so I want it to just be on one piece. So I went in now by 1 inch. I hope you understand. 1 inch for both sides will give you 2 inch. I went in now from the waistline by 1 inch. I went in by 1 inch because you know when it's open, it will be 2. Okay, for one side for the back, one side for the other, one side for the left, one side for the right. So that automatically makes it 2 inch that I took out from the back. I hope you understand. So from the waistline, I went in by 1 inch. So I'm going to be connecting it to meet the hip slightly like so. So this will now serve as the waist niching effect that I did for the front earlier. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So when I was done with that, so go ahead, if you want to have that slash line, you can go ahead to have even more than one. Just make sure that same dart that they are taking, the 2-inch or the 3-inch, depending on how you want to snitch your client's waistline. Make sure you are maintaining the same figure that you use for the front. So for the waist, for the hem styling, like I said earlier, there's no preference for it. Just work with the design you are making, okay? The design of the hem line you are making, okay? So I will not be giving you any direction for this. Just go ahead and do whatever you want the hem line of your dress to look like, okay? So I'm basically just doing the hem styling for the back. When I was done with the hem styling for the back, so I went ahead to just cut out, okay, the excess that I will not be needing for the back, okay? So when I was not cutting, this was what I had, as you can see. So this is the back. So if you want to add zipper, you can go ahead to add your zipper allowance, okay? If it's zipper that you want to use, go ahead to add your zipper allowance. So I'm going to be folding this eyelet, following the guide, the line as the guide. I'm going to be folding it inward, okay? I'm going to be folding it inward like so. I don't want to take it out yet because I will be needing it later. I don't want to cut it out yet. So this is what the back will be looking like, okay? So now the next thing I'll be doing is to transfer all my pattern to my fabric, okay? So if at this point you haven't subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video, okay? And also like, share this video so that it will reach out to more persons, okay, on this platform. Thank you for doing so, okay? So you want to also make sure that the front sides and the back sides are aligning together, they are matching together, okay? So make sure you check all this before you transfer to your fabrics in order to avoid mistakes, okay? So this is the front pattern. As you can see, this is the front pattern. You can see that I've already taken out the waist stitching effect that I told you that my camera did not record when I was taking it out. So the other one is the back. These are all my patterns. Now go ahead to transfer all your patterns to your fabric. For this project, I'm using velvet. Okay, you know we have different type of velvet in the market. I'm using the original, the high quality velvet, the original velvet. So go ahead to transfer all your fabric, all your pattern to your fabric, and make sure you are leaving sewing allowance. You can see that I left allowance, that like I added allowance to my fabric. The allowance that I'll be using to join all my pieces together. Now what I'm trying to say is that, you know, all the dart lines that I took, I added 1 inch, okay? It's only the sides, because the sides I already added 2 inch for my sewing allowance. That's when I did not put allowance. For all your dart lines, make sure you add at least 1 inch, okay? Make sure you add at least 1 inch. So this is my fabric. As you can see, I've gone ahead to laminate it. So when you are working with a velvet fabric, make sure you laminate your fabric with hairstay. Make sure you laminate your fabric with hairstay. Yeah, make sure you laminate your fabric with hairstay. Okay, so there are different ways of working with velvet. Okay, so me personally, I prefer this way. Okay, so make sure you laminate it with velvet to avoid having bubbles on it. Laminate with hairstay, sorry, to avoid having bubbles on it. At least have two to three layers of lamination on your fabric. So stay calm. On my next video, I'm going to be taking you through how to go about the bust caging, the invisible bunny effect that I did on this blouse, and also the beading. Okay, so you don't want to miss out. Make sure you subscribe, share this video if you've got value from it. Make sure you also recommend this video to other persons. Leave a comment down below. Okay, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop the sewing video, you will be notified. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for the support, for the love. Okay, so I'm supposed to drop this video maybe like few weeks back. So I've been out of YouTube for some time now, so I'm fully back now. Okay guys, I'm fully back. So God helping me, I'll be consistent this time. So if you want to have any conversation with me pertaining fashion, pertaining business, I'm open for business, I'm open for collaboration. Just chat me on the screen, on the number showing on the screen right now, okay? Chat me on WhatsApp and I'm going to respond to you promptly, okay? So if you want to take any course on corsets, you are confused on anything, just chat me, okay? So we'll take it over from there. So guys, follow me on my social media page that are showing on the screen right now. And if you want styles recommendation, you want like you're confused on a particular style and you want help, you can send me DM on my Facebook or my Instagram handle. Kindly follow me on those platforms, okay? So I'm going to be also be sharing some tips, sewing tips on those platforms so that you don't miss out, okay? So don't worry about what is showing on the screen right now. On the sewing video, I'm going to be taking you through all this process, okay? So thank you so much for watching. See you on my next one. Bye.